Welcome to Make Something Out of Nothing. My name is Steve. Tonight, under the episode, it's great to be back behind the microphone again. The reason why I say this is because who remembers recording themselves when they were younger on a cassette recorder? I remember back in the early days, I used to record myself on the tape deck in my bedroom, very similar to what I'm doing now, except I'm speaking into a microphone and the words are being typed on a Word document to make it easier for me for when we record podcasts. I never sent a recording to a commercial radio station. What I've heard over the years on other podcasts of radio people that have gone on to the commercial industry, and they've sent demo tapes to people in the industry. Many people who know me over the years would have known that I played with a tape deck at a very young age. I remember listening to presenters and on radio and started practicing and recording myself like a radio presenter. But I asked the question to anyone who's listening to this: how many people have done this before? During my time on radio, I never wanted to be or sound like anybody else. I just wanted to be myself. I didn't model myself on anybody else. I do have some favourite DJs growing up, and they were Dangerous Dave from Triple M, Craig Huggins from Gold 104, and Lee Simons from Triple M 105.1. There are a few people I enjoyed listening to back in the days when Mum and Dad were at work and I was sitting on the computer doing social media. During one of the lockdowns, I started listening to a podcast called Radio Game Changers, hosted by Craig Bruce, who used to work at Fox FM. I found this podcast very interesting because it gave me an insight on how some people moved into the commercial industry. People like Hamish Blake, Andy Lee, Lee Simons, Dangerous Dave, Fifi Box and Jamie Dunn. You may be asking, who is Jamie Dunn? Well, Jamie Dunn was the voice of Agro. I'm not sure whether Radio Game Changers is around these days, but I found some of the presenters on that podcast very interesting. But in recent weeks, I found it very interesting to do a podcast just to see what reaction I would get by doing my own podcast. It is like putting yourself in the deep end and seeing how things end up. The interesting part for me is that I'm glad that people have found my podcast very, very interesting that I've made because I didn't know what reaction I would get. I'm glad it's a positive one. The interesting thing for me is to listen to other people who talk about radio, and I find it interesting on how other people got their start on radio. I guess it's one of the reasons why I enjoy listening to people do podcasts and hear their stories from a different perspective. I know myself, even though I just started podcasting, I'm enjoying writing scripts and using voice-to-text software to make it easier for me. But I can guarantee you, without this software, I couldn't put things like this together in such a short time. I've found it over the years, while speaking into a microphone and listening to myself back, my voice sounds a lot clearer than my normal speaking voice. I guess when I started using voice to text software, that is something that I had to concentrate on so that people could understand what I was saying. I don't know what it is, but what I find it when I talk into a microphone, the muscles in my voice seem to relax. Hence, the words seem to come out a lot clearer when I speak. If you have enjoyed this podcast, give us a like and comment, and keep on enjoying these videos. And bye for now.